Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. I love how our OP did nothing against policy and we're actually doing his job by cleaning up. Yes, sometimes you have to teach the shoplifters a lesson. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Justice is so sweet. I work for a discount store in a crappy part of town. Y'all would be amazed at how much shoplifting actually goes on in my store. It's ridiculous. I find empty packages, price tags stolen from clothes everywhere, fitting rooms in the middle of the aisles, and even in the bathrooms. Anytime we suspect shoplifting, we have to call the company that's located out of state, and we're not allowed to call the police unless the company tells us to. I hate it. It's not like they can do anything to stop it. The most they can do is make an announcement over our intercoms that if they see any stealing in the store, cops will be called. However, the shoplifters get away with it because the company ends up never doing anything about it. At first, it worked pretty well. The shoplifters would drop whatever they were trying to steal, but now they have figured out that nothing ever happens and we aren't allowed to do anything. So they'll try and outsmart us. It truly pisses me off to see those morons get away with it. Well, tonight, I decided I had enough. I hate this freaking job as it is, and I don't get paid enough to sit around and watch these jackwagons get away with it. That comes out of my paycheck. Enter man and woman. I could tell from the moment they entered our doors, they were up to no good. I've seen this show 100 times. Sugar daddy will dart around the store, grab some stuff, and give it to the woman. The woman will then run off, put on her clothes, and leave her ragged old clothes in the fitting room. While the woman was in the fitting room, Sugar Daddy was walking around and checking to make sure no one was watching. Be please. I know exactly what you're doing. Company policy states that cashiers are not allowed to stop shoplifters. I may not be able to stop them, but what the hell? Nothing says I can't make them sweat a little. So the chick comes walking out of the fitting room and walks over to Sugar Daddy and begins to pretend to browse. Now is my time to shine. I make a mad dash over to the fitting room and clean it out. I make sure they saw me walk over there. I go to pick up all her leftovers and gasp, she left her car keys under the pile of clothes. Oh my gosh, this is turning out just too perfect. I came walking out of the fitting room and I just stand there and stare at the woman. I give her a knowing look. Now she's beginning to look worried. She says something to Sugar Daddy and now he started to look worried. They know that I know something is up, and they're unsure what to do. The girl practically sprints over to the fitting room. She's wanting her car keys, I assume. The dumb old cashier may have taken the clothes, but surely not the car keys that were in there as well, right? Wrong. She walks into the fitting room and comes out looking pale. Oh no, her keys aren't in there. So now she's looking even more panicked. At this point, I'm up at the register having a field day watching this whole thing unfold. She looks over at me, and I decide she's had enough. So I bring her the old clothes and her car keys with this big grin on my face. I said, "Sorry about that, ma'am. We have to start keeping the fitting rooms extra clean from now on because there's been a big issue with shoplifting here lately." And I give her another look. So she starts getting nervous, and she starts breathing heavy. So I give her old clothes. She goes back to the fitting room, changes, and gives me our clothes back. Then she and Sugar Daddy booked it out of the store. Haha, justice is sweet. And our second story. No, sir, I don't see any unexploded ordnance. About 8 years ago in the Air Force Reserves, I got to participate in an operational readiness inspection. This is where you pretend to deploy to make sure you actually can deploy. This involves getting together all your bags and gear, sitting in a room for a simulated 4-hour flight, and then carrying/driving your stuff over to a field on base to camp out for 2 days. During this time in the field, you set up for your mission, get inspected on how to do your job, and generally try to pretend it's not a giant PETA. As part of the inspection, a group of people walked around with clipboards and would ask you to do tasks and document how you did. Airman, please go over there and inspect that radar dish for imaginary damage. Airman, you just found this other person on the ground bleeding. Perform aid on them. The inspectors had a bad habit of not communicating with each other. One would ask you to accomplish a task, while another one would give you conflicting information. While you might think this was part of a plan to see what we would do in such a situation, it truly was them just not talking to each other and focusing on their own small tasks. Another thing they didn't like was using meta-knowledge. Everything by the book, even if it's pretend. And do not use common sense if it goes against their instructions. Several people were failed in tasks because they used common sense, i.e. a person seeing/hearing a generator was not running and knew no power was supplied to a box instead of checking the breakers first. This is where the malicious compliance comes in. The inspectors constantly change the environment of our deployed base. In the morning, they would decide we had a simulated barbed wire fence and we were in the desert. Later, another one would decide it was a 10-foot-tall chain-link fence. One morning, it was decided it was a 6-foot-tall concrete wall with wire running on top of it. A little while later in the day, we were instructed to take cover as we had simulated incoming mortars. After 10 minutes of sitting under a desk, I was tasked with doing an unexploded ordnance, UXO, walk to see if any fake mortars didn't explode. Of course, there was an inspector following with a clipboard. I walked around the very small base and located 4 mortars. As I walked inside the perimeter, I saw a mortar on the outside of the base. Well, as I was instructed that we now had a 6-foot wall of concrete, I ignored the mortar and continued on with my walk. In that scenario, I had no way of seeing the mortar, so I could not report it as found. The last time an airman tried to use common sense in a situation like this, they were failed in a task. So I finished the walk and reported the number of UXOs. The inspector, a little concerned, told me there were 5 UXOs and only 4 were accounted for. So I walked the base again, looking under tent flaps, around generators, and even walked the perimeter again, but could not find it. Again, he let me know there were 5 and only 4 were found. I made it a point on my 3rd walk to look directly at the mortar on the outside of the perimeter and continue the walk. At this point, he stops me and incredulously asks if I didn't see any mortars right now. No, sir, I don't see any unexploded ordnance. I could see his concern that he had one stupid and blind airman and he was going to have to fail me on this inspection. Finally, he points at the mortar on the outside of the wire and says, "You really can't see that?" At this point, figuring out playing this game again would be worse than breaking the 4th wall, I let him know the last base setting had a concrete wall we could not see out of. I had no way of seeing the mortar since he never let me leave the base to inspect the outside. He argued that someone told him it was a chain link fence. What was supposed to take 5 minutes had now gone on for 30. Afterwards, they picked a single inspector to give out scenarios so that conflicting information wouldn't happen. Isn't the entire military one big exercise in malicious compliance, though? It's kind of the only revenge lower enlisted have in a system that actively punishes questioning orders. You're fat. You don't need to eat anymore. So for starters, yeah, I'm fat. This happened about 2 weeks ago. My girlfriend works in this complex that has a McDonald's in it. If she has a 4-hour shift and we have plans afterwards, I usually just hang out at the McD's, and sometimes I'll get myself a little something if I haven't eaten yet. This was the case on this day. I order myself a McDouble, hash brown, and a McChicken. I hear a woman, EM, scoff behind me when I place my order. I'm used to people being a-holes about my weight, so I barely even recognize it. I did notice, however, that when I was waiting for my order that she hadn't ordered anything but was standing at the food pickup, eyeing me down. Weird, but whatever. The worker calls my order number and I walk to the counter to get it. That's when EM walks up and tries to snatch it out of the worker's hands. Me. Sorry, ma'am, but that's my order. I show her and the worker the receipt, which had the same number as the bag of food, obviously. EM. Well, you obviously don't need it. Look at all of you. Me. Yes, I'm quite gorgeous, thank you. EM. Ooh, God, no. Look how fat you are. If you eat any more, you'll have a heart attack. Me. Good to know. I grab my food and try to leave. EM. My daughter wants basically this exact order, and you don't need it, so hand it over. She's grabbing at the bag, and now I'm the fatty protecting his food. Yes, I still find this funny, don't worry. Me. Okay, give me $20 and you can have it. EM. First off, you paid $6 for that, and my daughter's sick, so she deserves it. Me. Well, If this is going to give me a heart attack, I'd hate to think what it'd do to your sick daughter. I head for my truck at this point because I've caused enough of a commotion and feel I've pissed her off to my satisfaction. I hop in my truck and start reversing out of my spot. Out of the corner of my eye, I see what looks like someone running to my car. I look and see EM sprinting towards my car and effing eating herself into the front bumper. Now, this is my dad's truck, and it's his baby. He paid a good 50 grand for this beauty, and God help anyone trying to F with it. I also love the thing to death, so I'm beyond livid. Me shouting, "What the F is wrong with you, you stupid FC?" EM, now trying to draw a crowd, "This fatty just tried to run me over. Someone please help me." By some crazy blind luck, there was a police car waiting in the drive-thru in full view of what just happened. He reverses out of the drive-thru and parks behind the truck. EM, "Officer, thank God. This man just tried to run me over after stealing my food. Arrest him now." Cop, "Ma'am, I saw you run into the truck. I was waiting in the drive-thru line." All of the color drains from EM's face. She starts booking it down the street, but the cop caught up to her quickly and detained her. She was sitting in the back of the car, cuffed, just glaring at me as I told him everything that happened, from her trying to take my food to what she did to the car. He got statements off the people and a few employees who witnessed everything. She ended up getting charged for harassing me in the store and damaging the truck. Don't try coming between a thick boy and his food.
And our last story. Steal my Amazon package? I work from home. Receive a notification on my phone that my Amazon package has been delivered. It's a couple $100 item, so I immediately go outside, but no package anywhere. I was outside as the delivery van was driving away, so literally no way a package thief snatched it in 20 seconds. The Amazon driver is 2 houses down. Excuse me, I received notification that my package was just delivered, but it's not there. Driver, looking shocked, stammering over words, what's the address? I give him the address. Yeah, I just delivered it to you. No, you didn't. I'm calling Amazon and y'all can sort this out, and I started walking away. The driver calls out, I found your package, but it says here there's an issue and I can't deliver it. It's likely a duplicate and another driver will be by later to deliver the correct one. Then why did you mark it as delivered? Because I didn't see there was an error. The other driver will be by later. No, I'm calling Amazon now. I walk away and call Amazon to report the incident. They say nothing is wrong with my package and it's marked as delivered. I tell them about the interaction and they say the driver should have given me the package. Even if it's a duplicate, the driver's not supposed to withhold a package. They'll investigate and get back to me in 24 hours. 2 minutes after getting off the phone with Amazon, the doorbell rings. I happen to be next to the door, so open it within 5 seconds and see the same delivery driver hauling butt down my driveway. He jumps in his delivery van and speeds through the neighborhood. I look down, my package is there. I call Amazon again to let them know that I just got the package and it was the same driver who hauled tail. They said they'd be opening an investigation into the driver. I also told them about how fast he was driving through the neighborhood. I felt like a Karen calling to complain, but I truly believe this driver was running a package-stealing scam. Mark's package is delivered, customer says they never received it, driver says, well, a package thief probably stole it before you look for it. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.